Possibly the biggest hump that people have to get over with respect to modernization is the testing paradigm. And the biggest part of that is that you do not have to test at the same level, the same way that you do when you're going through and doing regular development. You don't need to allocate the 30 to 40% of your resources and develop hundreds or thousands of test cases, because you have something, a huge asset at your disposal already, an operational system that's been operating for years, that's completely functional. True that if there's a bug in the old legacy solution, it's going to be transformed and it'll be faithfully implemented in the new solution. But if it is operating completely, all you must do is to do comparative tests to validate that it's proven. It's a proven equivalence. So you prove that it's the same. So you can do this through an automated comparison by having all the baseline that's been conducted in the previous legacy solution available in the modernized solution, run those same baseline tests, and then compare the results. You're not required to go through and develop those from scratch. You don't really even need a detailed test SME to develop the test cases. What you need to be able to do is run the tests in the legacy, extract out the data, the input files, you have the output files, migrate them over to the new environment, and then validate to see if there weren't any changes. After that, you can go through and build out additional test cases to give you additional coverage. But you're able to gain confidence and momentum as you move forward, proving out, yes, there's been no change in the business logic. Yes, it operates the same way. You're getting the same display feedback. You're getting the same reports, and you'll gain more and more confidence over the course of operating these comparative tests and just comparing the results. That's the big change. Any of the automated tests will run the same way. You don't have to rewrite automated tests. All the reports that you were getting previously, you'd be able to compare to the same way. Because you've eliminated all the human issues associated with modernization, all the specification issues, it's all machine generated at that point. So you should not expect any differences, and all the usage cases are the same. So the people that are working on it previously should be able to work on it the same way and not require any new knowledge in order to operate it. So black box testing is most appropriate, and often there is no other requirement to prove equivalence. The big part, though, is to make sure that you get that baseline. You have to have the code baseline in sync with the data, run the tests, so the code, the data are synced, do the transformation of both those, and then compare them. If your database is not in sync with the baseline, you go through the process, there's chances there's going to be a discrepancy and your validation is going to fail. So you really need to make sure that you've got your tables, your input files, your code, make sure that all of that is transferred over with a complete data set with the same code baseline, and then you actually do the testing in the modernized environment, and you'll see the results are the same. The reason why? Because there's no change in the business logic. There should be no change in the test results. But there's a couple of other things that TSRI does in order to assist this process. One is just injecting in telemetry. Telemetry is a simple statement. I've got it highlighted there is that logging enabled statement for that one program. And it basically goes through and inserts a little bit of instrumentation, a logging element within the source of the legacy in COBOL. You run the tests there, you get a log file. Now when you do the transformation, you have the same exact statements in Java or C#, and you're able to generate the same logging, and you can compare the logs. Now you know when you run those tests the exact execution path for every paragraph in the COBOL, every method in the target, and you're able to say, yep, they line up completely. This is the same code path. That will also give you visibility into the coverage of those tests. And you can then put in negative test cases and increase your coverage without, kind of the functional duress that you might be under and not knowing, how much you have covered, how many more cases that you need to support.